So one of my favorite treats in the world is popcorn. I actually cannot get enough of this stuff. I love it. I love to eat it. I love the smell of it. I'm a big movie guy, so any chance I get, I go to the movies and I have popcorn, and I also have popcorn at home because I'm addicted to the taste. But also in perfumes, they have some amazing fragrances out there that smell of popcorn. In fact, I've got 5 of them that I'm going to talk to you about here today in this video. If you like the idea of popcorn fragrances, then this is the video for you. So stick around and you'll find out 5 great fragrances featuring popcorn. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. I'm talking about popcorn and fragrances. Do you have a favorite fragrance that features popcorn in the notes? If you do let me know what it is. Put a comment down below so I can find out what it is. Maybe it's not similar to the ones I have here, and I was hoping that there would be more, but sadly I can't find too many. So I'm hoping that people will release some new fragrances in the world that does feature this note, whether it's just popcorn alone or caramel popcorn going into more of a gourmand direction. So let's get started with the list. I'm going to the House of Oud first with What About Pop. Are you guys familiar with this one? So this is a gourmand take on popcorn, so it's sweet and caramelized. Not one of my favorite types of popcorn. I like my popcorn to be salted and buttered, but as a perfume, I really like the idea of a gourmand take on popcorn because it smells really delicious. So this is whipped cream, vanilla, caramel, popcorn, benzoin, ebony wood, musk, hawthorn, ambergris, and vetiver. So eventually it has some ambery touches and woody touches when it's drying down. Of course, it's gourmand take on popcorn. You can actually smell the kernels, the popping of the popcorn in this, and it's sweetened up with the caramel and vanilla, and there's a bit of a creamy edge with it as well. Of course, it does get ambery and woody in the dry down, and a bit musky as well, but I think it's super, super delicious. Let's quickly smell. As soon as I sprayed it, I could smell the sticky caramel, sweet vanillic touches. And then in the background, you can smell the actual popcorn, the popped corn smell. Just imagine walking into a movie theater. They're popping popcorn fresh, and it's kind of filled up the room, that room where the place where you order your food. It all smells like popcorn. This is basically what you get here. It's super, super delicious. The House of Oud does some great gourmand fragrances, and I feel like they've got a great popcorn focused, more like a caramelized popcorn focused fragrance there with that fragrance, What About Pop. Let me know if you're a fan of that one. Again, THOO or the House of Oud does some great gourmands. Are you a fan of their fragrances? Let me know. And also their bottles are quite gorgeous as well. I think they're kind of works of art. Alright, moving on to a house and a fragrance that doesn't have the gourmand take on popcorn, but sort of it is, but it's not like caramelized or vanillic. This is more about the popcorn itself. I'm talking about Mind Games, and it's GARDEZ, this one right here. So this is it's the popcorn, basically fresh popped popcorn mixed in with Orris. Orris is powdery iris note in here. So it's this really interesting, great combo of the two, because for me, I find the smell of popcorn to be a bit powdery, and also a slight bit nutty as well, but not necessarily like peanuts or almonds, or there's a nuttiness about it, but it's more like a powdery, grainy, nutty kind of an experience rather than full-on nuts smell. But it's a nice combo of Orris and popcorn, but there's also peppery notes here, there's spicy notes, there's of course some jasmine, juicy fruits, leathers, woods, and of course popcorn. Let me know if you're familiar with GARDEZ. Again, it's not a full-on gourmand. There's like light hints of gourmand touches in here, but you'll smell a lot of Orris and a lot of popcorn with some other notes that come in. I can smell it as soon as I remove the cap off the bottle. And also getting the leather as well, because there's a bit of leather in this, and I feel like leather and Orris really nicely mesh together perfectly. There's a lot of fragrances like DHP, Dior Homme Parfum is a leathery Orris fragrance. This isn't like that because the popcorn smell is quite prominent. You can smell the popcorn, and again, not gourmand, so this is kind of like diet take on popcorn, like a gourmand popcorn. But you get the leather and lots of Orris here. For sure the popcorn's there. It's nicely in the background, but you can totally feel its presence. And then I get the juiciness of the fruits as well. I mean, there's a juicy quality. I almost thought that it might be something citrusy, and perhaps there are some citrusy touches in here as well. Sometimes they list it as fruits because they're kind of non-distinct, nondescript kind of fruits. You can't really tell. So it could be citruses that are kind of coming off juicy. It could also be violet leaves and things like that to create this kind of a juicy, watery effect in here against all the dry notes, because there's a lot of dry notes in here. Peppers, spices, the Orris is dry, the leather is dry, the popcorn is dry, the woods are dry. But again, it's a really nice Orris fragrance with that kind of popcorn edge. This is GARDEZ from the House of Mind Games. Let me know if you're familiar with that one. If you like popcorn without the sweetness, like the House of Ouds, What About Pop? That should satisfy you. But moving on to a house called Perfume Sucks. This is Love 6567, this one right here. Are you guys familiar with this house? They are selling these fragrances over at ZGO Perfumery now. And I smelled this over at Exxon's earlier this year. I thought this was the best in the collection, his new collection of fragrances. There's a Fuel, there's a Human, a few other fragrances. You'll maybe I would have done a video by now by the time this video airs, but this is super delicious. This is going back to the gourmand take on popcorn once again. It has popcorn, caramel. The caramel appears in the top and the heart notes. We've got Tolu Balsam, which is prominent here in the top, heart, and base notes. Cypriol, Musk, Jatamansi, which is Nard. But Andreas Wilhelm has captured a really delicious gourmand here. This is a really wonderful balsamic, sticky, caramelly, sweet, caramel popcorn experience. So delicious. If you like gourmand popcorn experiences, you got to try this one. It's super delicious. And the best in this collection, for me, I'm a gourmand lover, so this one really calls me. I like the way it smells. It smells great on skin as well, and it's a fantastic fragrance. This is Love 6567. So yummy. So yummy. There's a bit of a burned woods kind of a in the background experience, almost like smoky woods. Maybe it's the Cypriol that's creating it, because it's a woody note. It's a bit earthy, woody, but it's almost like you're at a campfire and you're having you're popping popcorn on a campfire, and you get a little bit of that smoky smell in the background. But it is quite ambery and balsamic in here as well, created by that Tolu balsam. This is quite delicious. Again, this is my favorite in the new series of fragrances from Wilhelm Parfumerie. This is Love 6567. Are you familiar with this house and the fragrance? It's a very catchy name, Perfume Sucks. Does it suck? Let me know what you think about the name, but let's move on to the next fragrance. So recently I did a video on some new musk fragrances from the house of ZARA. And in the video, I felt like this was one of the best. And as soon as I was smelling it, because I hadn't smelled it before, it was blind first impressions, I said popcorn. And it's exactly that. This is ZARA's Cashmere Musk. And it's cashmere wood, or cashmeran, with popcorn, tonka beans, and sandalwood. Really great musky take on a popcorn fragrance. This is not uber sweet and gourmand. It's more musky and, of course, woody from the cashmere note or cashmeran note, but the popcorn appears and gives you that very, delicious kind of a smell in there, but again, not going into that kind of caramelly, sticky, sugary, sweet direction. I'm quite impressed with how great the popcorn smell is here, and this is an inexpensive budget fragrance, Cashmere Musk from the house of ZARA. It is ladies targeted. This is a feminine targeted bottle, and it's pinkish frosted. But I think a man can totally pull this one off. There's a slight sweetness in there, probably coming from the tonka, because tonka beans do provide that a little bit. Maybe they have other sweet notes in there as well, but it's quite fresh. It's almost like all the rest of the notes, and then the popcorn is kind of sprinkled on top. It's covered with popcorn. So it's nicely blended together with woods and musky notes, and of course dry powdery notes as well. Really great take on popcorn. I was surprised with this one, how great this is. If you want to go catch the video on this collection, you can. I have it live. I believe this is one of my favorites. There was a couple that I liked, maybe even just this one, because I was a bit underwhelmed with that collection. But I think this one, Cashmere Musk, with the whole addition of the popcorn note, really does stand out quite a bit. And the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is going back to another gourmand take on popcorn, since we kind of balanced it out. This is Le Monde Gourmand's MAIS Souffle. This one right here. So this is a delicious carnival-inspired popcorn fragrance, and also very inexpensive. These are 25 bucks for a 30 ml. So 30 ml is 25 bucks. I did recently see somewhere along my travels 100 ml bottles. I don't know what those are priced at, but for 25 bucks for a 30 ml, I think it's quite a good price for these fragrances, and they do focus on a lot of gourmand fragrances. This has notes of crispy apple, popcorn accord, and whipped butter. You do experience the butter in there for sure. It is buttery, but the popcorn is quite prominent, and the appley fruitiness comes in. It's just a nice mixture of a fruity, a kind of caramelized fruity popcorn experience. Let's go ahead and smell. Let me know if you have sampled this one. The butter is so there. I mean, it might come off a bit synthetic, the butter, but with the apples, it's fruity. It could almost come off like a apple pie kind of experience as well, because the popcorn acts a bit like dough. You experience popcorn, don't get me wrong, it's there, but when it's mixed in with the apples, it gives me a little bit of an apple pie vibe, especially since it has the butter in there as well. Really yummy. Again, this is quite inexpensive, for about $25 for a 30 ml. I think it's definitely worth it if you're on a budget. These two fragrances are inexpensive, the ZARA and the Le Monde Gourmand. But those are the 5 fragrances I wanted to talk to you about, popcorn fragrances. Again, the gourmand ones here are the House of Oud, What About Pop? Then we have the Perfume Sucks fragrance, Love. And then the Le Monde Gourmand MAIS Souffle. The other two have some sweetness. The GARDEZ from Mind Games, and also the Cashmere Musk from ZARA, they have some sweetness there, but I wouldn't call those full-on gourmand. So if you're into the idea of a popcorn gourmand fragrance, definitely the House of Oud, the Perfume Sucks, and of course the Le Monde Gourmand. Those are more gourmand takes. And if you don't like that sweetness, go with the other two. But let me know your thoughts on these 5 fragrances. Have you sampled them? Do you like the idea of a popcorn fragrance? Put a comment down below so I can find out. And let me know any other popcorn focused fragrances. Are there any other? Are there a lot? I mean, this is what I have here in the studio, and I'm assuming there are more. I found some that I wanted to get my nose on. There was one from Etat Libre d'Orange that I didn't have on hand and didn't have enough time to buy one. So yeah, let me know if you recommend any other popcorn focused fragrances. I'm looking for both kinds. More like savory takes on popcorn, not necessarily gourmand. And of course, gourmand takes on popcorn as well, because I'm addicted to this treat. In fact, I kind of feel like having some right now. Maybe I might treat myself and go to Trader Joe's and pick up one of their theater style popcorn bags of popcorn. Have you guys had those? They're really, really delicious. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook and also TikTok. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.